everybody. I need all of you in my court tonight. Please welcome food writer Simon Majumdar, and from the kitchen, Sonny Anderson.
Up first, executive chef of Cheska, Christopher Wall. Oh, yeah! He's hyped!
Our next contender is the owner of the Perfect Recipe Catering, Eugene Jones.
You'll have 20 minutes to make a single ingredient, the star of your dish. And that ingredient is fresh mozzarella. All right, guys, go.
I really want crunch and texture with the creaminess of the mozzarella. So I'm making grilled crostini with smoked mozzarella and mushrooms, egg, and tomato onion relish. I like cooking simple food that has a sense of refinement. I was raised by a family of Irish and Italians, and we made our meals from scratch. In high school, I started hanging out with kind of a bad crowd. My parents were determined for me to straighten myself out. I enrolled in the Connecticut Culinary Institute. My dream was to work in New York City. In a short amount of time, I moved up to executive chef.
Mozzarella is at the heart of Italian cuisine, so I'm making chicken parmesan with seared pancetta, mushrooms, and Kalamata olives. I've spent the last 50 years playing jazz music and cooking complex food. I started playing jazz music when I was 8 years old, and I was hugely inspired by Cajun cuisine when I was visiting New Orleans to play music, and I automatically knew this was the food I wanted to cook. After so many years of cooking Cajun Creole at top restaurants, from California to London, I now run the Perfect Recipe Catering Company in Arizona.
The flavors I'm using are all going to marry very well. The smokiness of the bacon along with shiitake and oyster mushrooms have an earthy depth to them.
To make mozzarella the star of the show, I'm going to smother the chicken with mozzarella so that it melts out over the chicken. Next, I'm going to saute some pancetta, chanterelles, and shiitake. The fat from the pancetta will season the mushrooms. The cheese is not melting as fast as I thought it would. I was not expecting this.
3 minutes to go.
Eugene seems to have got out some chicken stock.
I'm trying to do a pan sauce, so I go for horseradish, Kalamata olives, and some demi-glaze. Demi-glaze is a concentrated stock. It's going to add instant body.
So with 2 minutes to go, crostini goes down first, the mushroom sauce, and I'm adding the mozzarella, and I put them in the salamander to let them toast. Next, I start my tomato relish. I grab some onion, parsley to bring a little bit of freshness.
90 seconds.
I look and see that the cheese is melted perfectly.
40 seconds to go.
20 minutes goes fast. Crostini first, I top it with my egg and relish, and then I just finish with a little zest on top.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both Simon and I are here to beat Bobby Flay.
It's all going to come down to what you did with this mozzarella. Chris, tell us what you made.
Smoked mozzarella with mushrooms and toast, with a farm fresh egg and a little tomato relish.
We've got the earthiness of the mushrooms. I can really taste the smoke that you infused in there. That being said, I wish there was more cheese. It was kind of hidden under the egg, you know?
I agree with Sonny. I don't really see it as the star of a very tasty dish. Eugene, what did you make for us?
Chicken parmesan with seared pancetta, mushrooms, and Kalamata olives.
Chef Eugene, you got it done. And my chicken is very well cooked.
I don't think there's any doubt that there's plenty of mozzarella in this dish. However, star here is the chicken.
And you know, Chef Eugene, got the mushrooms, the olive plunked in the top. Just a lot going on.
The chef that will be moving forward is Chef Chris.
What is your signature dish?
I hope you're ready for the heat. So we're making étouffée.
So chefs, you're going to have 45 minutes, starting now.
At my first job in New York City, étouffée is a dish that I had a lot of input in creating. This dish is elegant, really symbolizes coming to New York City and making it here. I like to put a modern twist on comfort food. My twist on étouffée is to take the flavor and elevating it. I'm a New England boy, so I use Maine lobster. I'm making a lobster étouffée with farro, puffed wild rice, and chili foam. Farro is a grain, and it has a lot of texture, and it can take a long time to cook, so I need to get that on right away.
I'm making shellfish étouffée with crusty green onion and black pepper rice. I'm gonna use crawfish, oysters, shrimp, and crab meat. I'm gonna start with a roux, which is a thickening agent, made out of butter and flour, which serves as the basis of a lot of Cajun sauces. I'm gonna use lobster and shrimp stock, a little tomato, and then my version of the Holy Trinity, onions, celery, and poblano peppers for some heat, and of course, a little garlic.
My lobster, and I'm gonna make butter poach. So I add thyme, tarragon to give it some earthiness and a nice aroma, and then the bay leaf really just goes well with everything.
Wonderful.
And then I start focusing on my roux. I'm gonna brown the vegetables, then I'm gonna add the flour and brown that as much as I can. Then I add my lobster stock, tomato juice, because it's a quick way to develop tomato flavor, Tabasco, white wine, and then Worcestershire.
This looks as traditional as any étouffée.
So far.
But are you going to give it some Flayisms?
There's gonna be some Flayisms there. I'm gonna cook the components individually to develop flavor before I combine them. In the meantime, I'm gonna boil some crawfish to garnish my dish.
There's one point to this chili foam, and that's to add heat and help control it.
So I have my sauce working, and now I'm gonna add some heat. I'm gonna use Louisiana-style hot sauce. It doesn't have a lot of nuances to it. It's usually just cayenne, right? Heat. First, I'm going to season my shrimp with cayenne pepper and start to cook it in the cast iron pan. I have all my crab, my oysters, crawfish, all prepped and ready to go.
I'm tasting my sauce, and it's just not getting into the correct flavor profile it needs to be. So I add a little bit more chili powder, and then I need to thin it out with a little bit of water. Finally, it's where I want it to be.
I just want a little bit of a crusty exterior for some texture, and then I want to put scallions and black pepper because those are really important flavors in Louisiana cooking.
So I start sauteing some tomatoes, some onions, celery as a garnish.
Just a few minutes left, I add all my shellfish so it can just poach in the sauce.
Less than 5 minutes.
It's down to the wire, and I think I have almost everything ready to go, but I just want to add some finishing touches. Scallions and some fresh thyme and a little bit of parsley, just kind of brighten it up a little bit.
20 seconds left.
Last finishing touch, I add scallions and parsley to add a little freshness and some color.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bobby, Chris, fantastic job. Now it's time to meet your judges.
Chef and owner of Ed's Lobster Bar, Ed McFarlane. Executive chef and the owner of Minton's and the Cecil, Alexander Smalls. And the chef and owner of Little Frankie's and Supper and Sauce, Frank Prizanzano.
Judges, please start with your first dish.
I really like the use of the different flavors of shellfish, and the spice that's used brings a lot of flavor to the dish.
I thought that the black pepper was a little overpowering, but all the fish was cooked perfectly. And then the crunchiness of the rice was really nice.
The touch of the crispy rice was unexpected and delicious, although I didn't particularly care for the fresh scallions. And the thyme was a little too strong.
Kind of taking my attention off the fish.
All right, judges, if I could get you to switch plates.
This is a very elevated take on the dish. The lobster is so well prepared, and the celery, the onions was a really nice touch.
I'm really excited when I see lobster on a dish and it's cooked perfectly. And the foam elevated the dish really nicely, although all the other flavors kind of masked the flavor of the lobster.
The rice against the farro, in concept, seems like a really good idea, but I'm constantly chewing it. This should be more of a smooth stew.
Okay, judges, it's that time where you have to take a vote.
Judges have voted, and we have a winner.
Chef Chris. I'm sorry you did not beat Bobby Flay.
Congrats, Bobby.
Thanks, Sonny.